Thank you for being here. And I'm looking forward to sharing the state of the college with all of you, and very importantly, also to celebrate our staff and faculty awardees today. So, in the last few meetings, I was, relatively speaking, still a new dean. And understandably, I focused quite a bit on developing a shared vision and maybe motivating a little bit about some of our new initiatives such as student success, enrollment growth, and our research enterprise. But now, with 3 years gone by, 1 year as an interim, I think it's time to have a subtle change in emphasis, and I will talk about outcomes and the progress that we have made for the last few years. But we will, of course, always start with a vision. And the vision that we have developed some consensus around is this, that we would like to develop an impeccable reputation with all our stakeholders, students, faculty, other deans, chairs, parents, employers, and so forth. And we do it through developing a singular excellence in selected faculty, programs, and departments. What do I mean by this? First of all, what we do not want is to be above average in everything. That is a kiss of death. Nobody will know us. It will look really good on paper. I'll give you an example. Gonzaga University is, I'm sure, a perfectly fine institute, but none of us would have heard about it if it were not so good at basketball. To the point that there's a running joke between Jimmy Kimmel and them. More closer to home, think about University of Delaware. University of Delaware is a very nice university, wonderful university. But what it's really known for is the fact that it has world-class chemical engineering department. People go there to the department, they graduate, and then they become faculty in the top universities. One of our own faculty members, Jeff Reimer, did his PhD, if I'm not mistaken, from University of Delaware. So this is what I mean by branding. So we want to have a few faculty who are the best. Not number 10, number 11, a few programs which are the best, and a few departments that are really, really superb, right? That is the broad vision we have. And we have to notice that we are relatively small, so we cannot be everything to everyone. But in the areas of strength, we just have to be the top choice. And this will hopefully lead us to become a destination college for both engineering and technology. Now that is the broad vision. More operationally, a reasonable goal, something that we can measure, whether we like it or not, is to be a top 50 rank college as defined by the US News and World Ranking.
These are expenditures. Something that we often call a role rank to extreme pattern. It is something that I think they are leaders on them. This involves things like physical retention or 6-year graduation rate. Our president's office did an analysis a while back, which showed us that if everything remained the same, our research remained the same, everything remained the same, but we simply improved our 6-year graduation rate, our university will take it to the top 50. That's why it's exciting. Other than the fact that it's our ethical obligation. And another item in our vision is enrollment. I think you will feel our needs of our education. That people is needed about the system in gap. We are, of course, more needy of that. But we are very healthy. But if you go to forward, is the financial need underpinning all the universities. We are non-profit, but in the end, we are a business. And enrollment, student enrollment is what it is not research, it is anything else, enrollment.
National awards should be our focus, and all these folks here have received some sort of interesting honor. For example, Ganesh became the president of TAMIS, which gives us enormous visibility. Gerard got the Grimes Medal Awards. Josh was a runner-up for the Cosrelli Prize. The Guggenheim Halle, Lars Graber got the Catalysis Prize. And Badri, our own former department chair of electrical engineering, was recognized for leadership. Please give them a round of applause as well. Now, I would have at this point also recognized the university awardees, but turns out the university have changed their cadence in which they announce the awards. We know who the awardees are, but they will be announced in the fall. So until then, the news is embargoed. The only thing I will mention, so we will celebrate next meeting in spring. The only thing I will mention is that this year's Farfield awardee is from our college. So that is, I think, I don't recall the last time we had one from our college, so quite a while back. So it'll be another reason to celebrate next year. And now that I've spoken a lot about how we have homegrown National Academy members, I'm not averse to stealing from other universities, and we have done precisely that. So we have 3 notable hires among many others. Rakesh Agarwal is a member of the National Academy from Purdue University. He's the recipient of the National Medal of Technology and Innovation. Sangtae Kim, also a member of the National Academy, and we are likely to get URI money from the state for them. And he was the former vice president and CIO of Eli Lilly, which will be great for us, our efforts in drug discovery. And Akash Gupta, I believe he's already here. And Akash, are you here? Oh, great. And he joins us from MIT through a separate grant. So regarding our research enterprise, I have some very good news to report. We spent about $62 million last year. To put it in perspective, the year before, and in fact, even the year before that, we spent roughly about 50 million. So we have grown by 20%. And here are some of the grants that I've listed, which are, I would say, just about the top 5 or 6 grants in our college. Even 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago, when I was the interim dean, when I became the interim dean, when I was creating this slide, the grant that was at the quote-unquote bottom was maybe about $1 million. And 5 years ago, that grant was about $500,000. So it was a big news when we had $1 million grant or $500,000 grant. But that is not the case anymore. We are routinely getting multi-million dollar grants, and that has been the change in the culture, the efforts that all of you are putting together. So these are amazing grants, and also look at the sheer diversity of the research. This is on nuclear fusion by Silva, who I just mentioned, $8 million grants. We have immunology, Naveen's grants, and drones, military drones, then geosensing. So the diversity of the work that you all do is amazing, and all of you are to be congratulated for doing a great job in research. Both sides, whether it's very early career researchers, young faculty, or seniors, we're doing well. We now have 16 National Academy members. If you look at some of our in-state competitors, so to speak, like UT Dallas, there's no comparison. Arguably, A&M is larger than us, but they also have 840 faculty in their college. They're almost 4 times larger than us. So we are punching way above our weight. And among the young faculty, since 2023, we have received 18 NSF Career or Young Investigator Awards. And just over the past several months, these 4, if you're in the audience, please stand up. They have received the NSF Career Award. Thank you. Congratulations again. If you want to know how our research has evolved over the years, you can take a look at this chart. It's 62 million. Last year was 50, and you can observe the trend. We have grown by 50% since 2021. So how do we further improve our national competitiveness? First, we must think about our vision to develop that reputation. So first is nominate faculty for prestigious external awards. I have established a committee, but the chairs who have done bulk of the work and others, their colleagues, senior colleagues are responsible for nominating a record number of our faculty. And as you saw, we are being successful because we do have high quality faculty. It's just a matter of making sure we have a culture of nominating them in a competitive fashion. Second, induct more faculty into the national academies. This is by its very nature a somewhat confidential process. So I have personally taken charge of it, and I can assure you that behind the scenes, a number of faculty are being nominated even as we speak. So you saw a success story today, this year with Silva. I am very confident in the coming years you will see more success stories emerge out of our college where our homegrown faculty will be elected. There's a massive effort that's going to happen behind the scenes to ensure that. We also must place students in faculty position. This is well known in academic circles that if your students are faculty, that department chair is more likely to rank you higher. And our rankings work by, I will talk about it, by peer recognition. So previously, most of our students would go to the industry, and that is great. Most students should go to the industry. We are an engineering college, but we do want a few of our good students to go into academia, and that is now happening increasingly. The final way to improve national competitiveness is to make sure we are in the limelight and we are covered by national media, not by our own magazines. Of course, our own magazine, Carl Apple, who is our communication director, does his best to feature our stories and make it available to the public. But it's like our own mother giving us a recommendation. We really need the external media to recognize our accomplishments, such as the New York Times, Houston Chronicle. This is a harder nut to crack, and we are still working on it. But that is ultimately one of the big goals of our communication department, to ensure that national and state media highlight us as much as possible. What else can we do to improve national competitiveness? And here's a weakness we have analyzed. We need to increase our share of both NIH, or what we call health and human sciences research, as well as DoD funding. The simple reason, this data is a bit old, but still makes the point, assuming nothing happens to the budgets. This is NIH budget, and these are the budgets of all the other agencies. NIH is by far the largest. This is a chart that shows us our percentage share of the NSF on y-axis and the HHS, the health sciences research, mostly which is NIH. We are the red dot. The dark blue dots are the top 50 public universities. We are okay when it comes to NSF, but we are far below when it comes to the health sciences research. And health science budget is much, much higher, as you know. The success rates are not that different. But for NSF, you might get a couple $100,000 per year. For NIH, you might get $1 million. So that is a big difference. So that's why we need to increase the proportion of health sciences research. Biomedical is, of course, by its definition, does that, but we need to have other departments also invest appropriately in this area. And the ones that have done so have done really well. For example, I remember 5-6 years ago, departments like electrical, chemical, their expenditures were in the order of 5 million. They're now approaching, all of them have exceeded 10 million. And I believe it's largely because they have significant proportion of NIH grants. Civil also has done exceptionally well, and their reason is DoD grants. So these are the two things that we have to focus on. So what else can we do? We must position ourselves ahead of the national trends. So sometimes in the past, we have been slow followers of national trends. Think about AI or data science. We did invest in it, not exactly, we were not ahead of the other universities. Sometimes we are fast followers, and then we have reaped enormous benefit. A bit infrequently, focus on just a handful of faculty, we have set the national agenda. And that's, we need to do more and more of that. So recognize what is going to be important 10 years in advance, 5 years in advance, rather than after the fact. So the question is, can we be national leaders? Can we focus on things that are not hot now, but will be central in 5 to 10 years? And some themes have emerged. We had a retreat as well. We discussed some of these things. In our executive meeting about a year ago, we have talked about a few things that informed how we hire faculty, especially the PFFs. So here are some of the emerging themes. I already talked about health sciences, space explorations. We are already engaged. The mechanical department changed its name to include aerospace, and they have a NASA center. Other departments are also investing. Quantum materials and computing. The federal government is already putting huge resources in this area. And we have hired several faculty across different departments for working in this field. Some of them will be joining in the fall semester. And finally, nuclear fusion. You saw the big grant that Silva had, $8 million on nuclear. That is on nuclear fusion. In fact, he is having a workshop tomorrow on Friday on nuclear fusion, a statewide workshop. So we are entering this field as well, and we will likely have more junior faculty hires in these areas. And these are topics that are going to be very central to our society over the next 5-10 years, and thankfully we are entering them well in time. So what are the impediments? I'm sure you all have your own stories, and we have several impediments, mostly operational and quite a few of them with the Division of Research. The issues are widely known. I will not rehash them, but all I will mention is that we have been making strong efforts, often behind the scenes, that are not always visible, to improve things. And our college is playing a leading role. In fact, some of our faculty are also playing a leading role, partnering with my office on this matter. Now, if you have suffered recently from DOR, what I'm about to say will not be of much consolation, but Dimitri and I see the global picture for the entire college, and I will say that over the last 6 months, we have seen quite a bit of improvement. We're not there yet. A lot of work remains, for example, related to animal care facilities, maybe other aspects of finances, but things have improved over the last 6 months, tangibly so that I'm optimistic that things will get better and better. Another thing is what we have done is we have hired a post-award liaison, and we will soon introduce her to all the department chairs. Her sole job is to try to make things easy regarding post-award. We of course have a pre-award team, but she's not responsible for post-award. She will essentially communicate with DOR and try to make things easy for us. And we already are seeing some improvement as well, even as we speak, but we hope for more in the coming days. And most people are not aware of this initiative. And we have established, largely through the efforts of Greg Lenny, something called the University of Houston Research Foundation. Now, many of you know that a few years ago, we were awarded a very big contract from the DoD, almost $65 million. Now, such contracts require the development of a control infrastructure. And if we don't have a separate entity that can house these DoD grants, it limits our ability to get more money. And this foundation, you can think of it like a mini DOR. It has pre-award, it has post-award, it has its own IT department. It's totally separate from the university, yet all the expenditures are still counted as college expenditures. So that is the beauty of it. Such a model already exists. Johns Hopkins has an applied physics lab, Georgia Tech has GTRI, and so forth. So finally, this has been achieved. The president approved it, the Board of Regents approved it. Craig Lenny will be the inaugural director. But this is meant for now for only DoD grants. So if you have a DoD grant, if you route it through this foundation, it will be handled not by DOR, but by the foundation personnel. And that we believe it will be a game changer in our ability to get more DoD funding. So essentially, by targeting more health science research, DoD research through this foundation, and to strategically hire faculty in the right areas, we believe that we will emerge ahead of the national trends. Now, we also need to do reforms as far as our staffing is concerned. So Steve and I have noticed something. There's always a DBA missing in one of our departments. We have now about 10 departments, 11 if you count construction management, which is sort of embedded in civil. There's always a DBA missing, right? So it is sometimes more than one, right? So we made a decision to hire a few floating DBAs centrally who can swoop in and try to help out the departments when they're in trouble. And that's something we have frequently used. And in fact, they are some of our busiest people. And one of the reasons this is happening is sometimes we also see operational issues in departments is because of very strong faculty growth. That is a good thing, but without the commensurate growth of staff. You can get faculty lines. We have been successfully been able to get faculty lines from the provost's office, but getting staff lines is not so easy. So I'm increasingly urging our department chairs to every now and then sacrifice a faculty line and just invest in hiring more staff. That is absolutely essential. And otherwise we will reach a breaking point. And the chairs agree, and some of them are going to do that. So we will see growth of staff across the departments. We increased our pre-award team from 3 to 6. So we have 6 people there now. This is for research. And we received very good and constructive feedback from several faculty on our pre-award processes. And we have listened to them, and we are fine-tuning it. So in the coming weeks, Dimitri will make an announcement regarding modification of our pre-award processes. That will be, we are hoping it will be received very well. We can increase the staff, but we also have to embrace technology. And I was really inspired by one faculty member. I think all of us have seen this. We're tired of signing paper copies. We're tired of downloading PDFs and signing them and sending them back by email and losing track of them. We are tired of the fact that we have a purchase order, meal reimbursement, but we have no idea where it is, what is the status, or how long it will take. So Professor Omar Abdul Rahman from Chemical, he did something remarkable. The department was going through a hard time at one point, and he basically embedded himself with the staff. He's a faculty, so he understands the faculty side. He embedded himself with the staff. He started to understand what the staff see and what are their issues. And it also turns out that he's an IT whiz. So he put it all together and created this wonderful electronic system, digital system, which, as you can see the snapshot here, which is a one-shop portal for everything, whether it's requisitions, whether it's to reserve a room, whether it's to monitor your purchase order, everything. It's transparent to everyone. You can monitor the status. You can sign electronically without downloading any files. So everything is digital. So I was very impressed by what he has done. He even created a custom AI chatbot, which is specifically trained on all the university policies. So if you want to know whether something is reimbursable or what is the process to file a travel request, it will tell you. So very nice. You did a great job, and we have requested him to join my office as special assistant to the dean to lead a college-wide digitization effort. And I commend Chemical Engineering Department for taking the first step and to create a unified electronic system that is all digital. And this will also make it easy for one DBA to swoop in and go to another department, help out if something goes wrong. Right now, every department has its own idiosyncratic processes. This can be sometimes difficult and challenging. So this development of this new administrative system is already underway, and we expect rollout in the end of summer. It is even got attention of Cullen, where I announced this in a newsletter this month. And of course, they wanted to make sure we are following all the policies of the university, and we are. We worked with IT, legal, everyone, and if of course it is found to be useful, they might implement it centrally as well. So very good news. Omar is not here, I believe. Otherwise, I would have asked him to be recognized also for this. Okay, so let me turn to student success. So we have great news on this front. We had the best enrollment season. And I believe it is because of our rising reputation. So across all of the university, we grew by 2.9%. The Cullen College, just the new undergraduates and FDIC plus transfer is 19%. FDIC, for those of you who don't know, is first time in college. Most of the metrics that we quote are often for FDIC because that is what the state tracks. Now, both groups of students, FDIC and transfer, are important to us, but FDIC is especially important because it gets a lot of scrutiny. If you look at just our FDIC numbers, it's 28%. That's a huge whopping growth. And more importantly, even though this fall 2025 was very strong, when we look at what is happening for fall 2026, the coming fall semester, our admissions are up 21% for FDIC and 19% for transfer. So we are expecting major growth in the coming years. Those were, of course, incoming students. If I look at now the total enrollment, that includes past and present, everyone, here are the numbers. Total, we are up by 3.3%. Undergraduates were up by 6.1%. We are down in graduate students, 7%. Now our PhD students are relatively flat. So this drop is largely because of the drop in our international master's students, right? So we have good news overall, but some challenges remain. First is that enrollment growth is uneven across our majors. One of our majors has over 325 new incoming undergraduates. Some others are less than 30. So this heterogeneity is a little bit troublesome, and we have to figure it out. As I mentioned, our graduate enrollment is down, largely due to master's students, and this is primarily because of geopolitical headwinds, right? And of course, we are doing something about it. The first thing is that we have to diversify. I think the geopolitical situation has shown us that we cannot continue business as usual, and we cannot have such an over-reliance on international students. And most universities are doing it. So the first is, of course, finding ways to recruit domestic students. And our biggest weapon is our accelerated BS master's program. And now, recently, through the changes in the university policies, undergraduate students can take 4 graduate courses during their senior year, which can be double counted. So they can really easily get a master's in 1 year. And we are making efforts, all departments are making efforts to enroll more and more of their students in the master's degree program. We have a fast track admissions process, which requires very little effort for our undergraduates to get into their master's program, requiring no application fee, no recommendation letters, no GRE, and decisions often being made in a very short time. Carl's team is launching a digital marketing campaign, and we have hired a new recruiter position that is going to exclusively focus on Sugar Land and Katy. And maybe in a subsequent meeting, I'll talk more about what we are doing about Sugar Land and Katy. While the international students' applications are down, we still cannot forget them, and we are making efforts in that as well. So we have a new program that is initiating with Punjab University that is with chemical, and we hope it will scale up. The Delhi Technological Universities, that is a special case for us because Durga Agarwal, our former regent, is an alum of that college, and he is willing to put significant amount of money and effort to make that connection happen. So we, as a pilot step, we will be getting 10 students which are funded by him this fall, and we believe that it will scale to many other departments and scale up as well, mostly masters. Of course, when you have a larger master's students pool, which is high quality, we also can increase our PhD population as well. Largely centered around electrical engineering, they have made significant connections with several high quality Vietnamese universities, and that is primarily for their PhD program. So what about student success? Now, by its very nature, it takes a little time for students' success numbers to improve, because 6-year graduation by definition takes 6 years, right? So you will not see results for at least 4 years. So first metric is first year retention, FDIC first year retention. We are at 88%. That is reasonable. You can grow by a couple of percentage points to 90%, but it's really hard or difficult to even think about going more than that, and not really necessary. We are talking about teenagers who will change their mind. So 90% is a good number. Second year retention is a big deal because we lose most of our students in the second year for one reason or the other. And there, our retention has improved significantly from 75 to 83, and this is a big deal. And now finally, our 6-year graduation rate has also improved quite a bit by 4%. That is also very encouraging. So all the efforts that we have been putting in are starting to show some results. And the fact that our retention is now better in second year, we expect in a couple of years that this number will go up as well. So what have we done that has led to this result? We all know about the Pathways Professor, which we initiated for the high DWIF courses. DWIF stands for D, withdraw, incomplete, and failure. So we have a number of high DWIF classes. And the Pathway Professors is really an attempt to change the culture, the mindset that we really would like faculty to think it's a matter of pride and honor to be asked to teach an elementary sophomore level course that has a high failure rate. And that's the way I would view it. If my chair asked me to teach a course like that, I would think it's an honor to do that. Right? In Caltech, Richard Feynman used to teach basic physics. That's the mindset behind it. It has received some criticism, but overall, I think it is successful. It is successfully changing the culture. We are engaging with the math department because frequently the math prerequisites are what cause the failure. We are redesigning our promise workshops to make them more effective. And this created UH, I'll talk more about it in a minute, is also working very well. This is an umbrella organization that is meant to enhance the design experience of our students, capstone design, but even other design projects in other classes. We have now 2 maker spaces, one in this building and one in the old law building. And Jamie Kovacs' team is trying to raise money so that almost all our capstone design projects are funded. Finally, I would say that this is the most important. What I've requested all the chairs to do is that if the failure rate is high, we have to experiment. Not doing anything is not an option. Maybe the experiment will not work. Nobody has all the answers. I don't have all the answers. But if the failure rate is high, we do need to try something without lowering the standards. That is the hard part. Try something new, see if it works. If it doesn't, try something different. But we cannot just give up and say, well, it's too bad, failure rate is high, the students are bad. That is not, I believe, the right mindset. And by the way, all these efforts are showing results in a different way also. You saw some numbers now, but are a few other statistics. The high failure rate courses have dropped from 6.6 to 3.1. The promise workshop participation is up by 33%, and we do see a correlation between passing rate and the students who actually take a promise workshop. And finally, we are exploring a bridge course. A visiting department chair told me about it. So in Maryland, they found that the transfer students were failing a lot more than their regular students. So what they did was create a bridge course so that they could have a better chance of success. Now, we are concerned about our FTIC students. So there's nothing stopping us from creating a bridge course for our FTIC students in the sophomore year, where we notice the biggest failure rate, right? And again, chairs and faculty have pointed out that it is not just the prerequisites that's the problem, like math or physics. It's also the attitude, right? Life skills, learning habits. How do you study? How do you take an exam? Just life lessons in general, managing your time. So our students still seem to be largely teenagers at that stage. So we need a bridge course which will try to help them during this critical time and maybe learn how to be successful. So we are still in the early stages of exploring it, and hopefully I'll talk about it in the next faculty meeting. Okay, so now about the rankings. So we have college rankings and departmental rankings. They're separate. So college ranking is based on a formula. It's a complicated formula. Suresh has this wonderful, really complicated Excel sheet which details how exactly it's calculated. None of us fully know all the ingredients of this formula, but we can guess at 99% of it. It's not very transparent. But our ranking, college ranking, has fluctuated between 68 to 72 for many years, which I would say we are treading water essentially. It's in the range of noise. We are on a holding pattern. Departmental rankings are purely a beauty contest. The way the departmental rankings are decided is a survey goes out to every department chair in the country, and they give a score from 1 to 5, something of that sort. So, the civil department could hire 20 Nobel laureates tomorrow, and the rankings will not change if the department chairs of the civil department chairs do not find out about it. So this is the fallacy of this ranking system. So now in college ranking, there is a real formula based on research and so forth, which I'll talk about, but it also has a very strong peer review ingredients where the dean's survey matters as well. So here are our current rankings. The college as a whole is 71. We moved up. Here are the rest. Chemical is 34 out of 135, which means it's in the top 25 percentile. If you see green, it means the rankings improved compared to the year prior. If you see yellow, it means we're about the same. It might have gone up or down by 1 point or something, which is noise in my opinion. So they're in yellow. Petroleum, environment, and chemical are roughly the same. Mechanical went down a bit, but most departments went up. And I attribute it to one very simple reason. Most of the department chairs, after having a lot of discussion, they decided to invite other department chairs as seminar speakers. So most departments made that effort. And that effort is paying off. The rankings went up. For example, biomedical engineering ranking went up substantially. And this was the first time they made a significant effort to invite department chairs. So this works. When you invite other department chairs, they come and visit and see how good you're doing, they will rank you highly. So why did one department go down? That happens, and that is something we will investigate and figure it out. But that is the only strategy a department can do. Impress other department chairs. And there's no other mechanism in place, whether through visits or whether through communications. That is why our seminar series is of vital importance, every department. And incidentally, I will mention what we have done regarding our college, because peer review also matters for our college. So here's a few more details about our college. So there's a formula that leads to a score out of 100. For example, MIT usually gets 100 points out of 100, is ranked number one. And you will see like UC, Irvine, Delaware, Minnesota, they are at 63 points and are ranked 36. And then we have us at 71. Here's the formula: research activity, quality assessment, faculty resources, selectivity. Quality assessment is the peer review, where all the deans basically rate you. Research activity is linked to research expenditures, for example. Quality assessment is mostly peer assessment by other deans and recruiters. Faculty resources are related to doctorate to faculty ratio, percentage of faculty in NAE, or doctoral degrees awarded. And Suresh and I last year worked on this to see what would be the effect of as we turn these various knobs. For example, if we increase our research expenditures by 10 million, we will get a 2-point increase, which we did. We went from 50 to 62. Peer assessment, if you increase your score from 2.7 to 2.8, you will be up by a point. This year, our peer assessment score went up by 2 points. And that happened because we invited a lot of deans. Many of the Rockwell speakers were deans. And of course, I believe that helped us. And then slowly and slowly, you can play games with this model to see how you can improve your ranking by turning all the knobs that we have, whether it's having more NAE faculty, decreasing our acceptance rate, doctoral student to faculty ratio, citations per publications, and so forth. And we are doing all of that. But our ranking went up by just 1 point. Despite the fact that we improved our research, we increased our reputation. Do you guys want to venture why? To guess why? Why didn't we go up by 6 points or 7 points?
Everyone else did too.
Yeah. That's the thing. If we do nothing, we will actually go down. So despite making such strong efforts, we went up by 1 point. So we just have to do way more. That's the reality. It goes back to my comment about hiring Nobel laureates. We can do wonderfully well, but if other people do not know about it, it doesn't matter. At least not for rankings. So we are making strong efforts to ensure that all the good things that you are doing are being seen by others that matter. The Rockwell Lecture Series, I believe, has been transformed. We are inviting some of the best people in the country now. Deans, because they matter for ranking. Famous scientists, because again, they also matter in different ways. You can just look at the list of people we invited to see how impressive they are. And all the departments that did so, their rankings improved. So here's the strategy. Do well, but publicize well. Place graduate students in faculty position. We have to increase faculty size, which we are doing. We are constantly on a growth mode. We, in fact, to the point that we have to worry about increasing staff along with it. Create nationally recognized centers and institutes that also we are making efforts towards. We have some really good presence in that, but we need a federally funded big, large center that I'm hoping will happen soon. We will be writing a big ERC. I believe it's on quantum materials. And of course, we would like your feedback on whether we could do more with our communications. We are putting a lot more attention in this area now, and your feedback is welcome, what more we can do. So looking ahead, I think it is no secret that our buildings need maintenance. We, like many other universities around the country, our university also suffers from deferred maintenance. This is not unusual, but our buildings are old. The building that we are in right now, the 1 as well as 2. And sometimes that does impact our ability to recruit students and faculty. So we are launching an ambitious project, a remodeling project. If you've ever been inside the old technology building that's across our college, so it was given to class. It was not in a good situation, very dilapidated. But then it got renovated. If you now enter the building, it looks like a five-star hotel. It's really nice. So, and it cost them about $5 million. Now, our buildings will be a lot more expensive. It won't cost us $5 million. It'll be cost us a lot more. But we have to start at some point. I'm not even sure that I will finish this project of renovating both buildings in my term. But if I start now, maybe the next team will finish it, and at some point we will have two really, really nice buildings. So with the help of Russell Dunleavy, our VP for advancement, and our own advancement of Officer Alex Moreno, we are launching a funding drive to renovate both our buildings. This is an artistic, semi-artistic reimagining of the front facade of our building and the pit area. This is the pit area. Right now, our pit area doesn't look that great, but I'm hoping we can change it. Just incidentally, just the pit area itself by itself will cost us about a couple of $1 million to renovate. So this is a major project. Stay tuned for this. More news about this. The president has also very generously agreed to finish off the Agarwal building. So all the unfinished labs and the floors will be finished by, I think, next year. And we will get quite a few of them. So we will expand. And the Innovation Hub is coming up as well. I think the target is 2027, 2028, and it will have 4 floors. The first one will be makerspace, very swanky makerspace that, again, our students will be the biggest users of. Floor number 3 and 4 are of interest. Incidentally, these floors are about 12,000 square feet. Floor number 3 will be Energy Transition Institute and Labs. And many of our faculty would qualify to be there. Level 4 will be PFF labs. So of course, we have the largest number of PFF faculty, so we believe that we will participate in that space as well. So on the space side, the news is optimistic. As I mentioned, we are growing. Our faculty are growing at a very rapid rate. We have, so there's a typo. It should be fall 2025. We have about 20 faculty joining us in the spring semester. And usually we end up getting about 50% of the PFF slots in the entire university, our college alone. Some administrative updates. Ji-Chen, Kirill Larin, and Dimitriou Hatzignashvili all became permanent chairs of their respective departments. Hidra Malki kindly agreed to serve as interim chair of, not computer engineering technology, of engineering technology, and Tony Liao has become the interim chair of information and systems technology. I thank them for their service. This is my last slide. We will have a major event at the end of this year called the Cullen Gala. We did this 2 years ago, if you remember, where we had the city's top business people, politicians all join us. And this was a vehicle for us to raise a lot of money. And we did raise a lot of money. So stay tuned for this, and I hope I will see some of you at that event. That's all I have. Thank you. Questions? Go ahead. Yeah.
Great presentation. I'm happy to know about all these improvements. There's something that still, as you know, is a problem, which is, all the approval process across the different parts of the university. As an example, I sent you yesterday a copy of 2 identical documents. One approved, the other wasn't approved, right? So there is something happening at AP, something happening in Bravo, something happening in the department that needs to be harmonized, right? So that we cut red tape and that we avoid delays. I have people that need to be reimbursed back to the summer last year, right? And so what we can do, so the application is great, but still we will depend on these other offices to approve in a timely manner. So how do we work with them to harmonize these processes, right? How do we work to minimize red tape? For example, the sports control office you have to train, and then you get certified. But then my own department is asking for another certification of something that has to be already certified by sports control. So that's basically adding red tape, a necessary approval for a process that has been taken care of. Right?
Okay.
So, and the last thing I really appreciate, I'm happy to help with the biomedical part, which I didn't see in the emerging technologies. And as you mentioned, it's very important to apply for NIH funding. I serve in the council of the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development, which advises the NIH director and also the National Center for Medical Research. And so I can provide some tips on how to go about it. And I have some other ideas that I would love to discuss with you. If you get an appointment to do that.
Thank you. Yes, so we, of course, as you saw, we will be improving the processes within the college, right? But through the digitization process and other means. And we always open to feedback. We had a meeting recently with faculty members who were critical of some of our pre-award policies, and they gave us many constructive suggestions, which we are going to implement. So for the college processes, it's relatively simpler for us. Steve and I will sit with any faculty who have comments and we'll improve them. Regarding anything that is happening beyond our shores, so to speak, we have to discuss with their respective leaders, and we will. We have been doing that. We have been talking to HR, we have been talking to accounts payable, or sorry, we will be talking to accounts payable about many aspects. So you did the right thing, you're bringing it to our attention, and we will talk about it. Sometimes the issues are our own processes, sometimes they're not. Either way, we bring it to us and we will work on it. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, with that, I would like to start the award processes. Thank you for listening. So now some of the awards have more than one recipient, and they will receive the recognition together. As our awardees are called, please remain standing until all recipients of each award have received their recognition, and please hold your applause until all awardees are standing. And I would like to also confirm something else. For many years, this was a sore spot with our Dean Tedesco, previous Dean Tedesco, and with myself personally. We were not allowed to give staff awards. This was a policy set by HR, but I'm very thankful for all the efforts that our leadership made in the President's office and the Provost's office, that we, for the first time after more than a decade, we're now allowed to give awards to staff member, which was something that I was always very sad about that we could not do. So with that, I will invite Steve to announce the staff awards.
That's right, Nicolette. No, so it's just this and this. All right. Test. Which one? This one? This? Yep. Okay. Well, it is my pleasure to present for the first time, and as the Dean mentioned, in a very long time, our Cullen College of Engineering Staff Excellence Awards. We really had some excellent nominees, and all are deserving of an award. Although we don't have that many college awards, I suspect that many of the nominees, if not all, will receive awards in the future. As it has been such a long time since we've been able to give out these awards, the Dean actually authorized 3 awards this year instead of just 2. So without further ado, I'm going to announce this year's awardees. When your name is called, please stand and remain standing. So our first $1,000 award winner is Andres Acosta in our engineering undergraduate programs office. Our next $1,000 award winner is Brianna Cook in our mechanical and aerospace engineering department. And then our $2,000 award winner is Con Lee in our information science technology department. Is Con here? Let's see, Con. All right, well, I would like to invite our awardees to the stand to receive their plaque from Dean Sharma, and pictures, of course. What? Is there plaques? Just pictures, oh, okay, all right. No plaques. Are there going to be plaques in the future?
So for everyone who is receiving an award, not everyone is receiving their certificate today. You will receive a communication from the Office of the Dean if you receive a certificate with information about pickup.
Very good. All right. All right, let's give them all another round of applause. And now I would like to, what about the second one? Okay. Please join me. So I'd like to invite Dr. Dmitry Litvinov up to hand out the College Research Awards.
Okay. Okay, first we will go with the Research Computing Awards. And we have two awards that the college gives out. One goes to a student and one goes to a faculty member. And these are for, significant contributions in generally defined field of computer science, data science, and, high performance computing. And the first award will start with the students who are just, it's just amazing that the students do such an amazing job here. And it's a Taiwu Anuluvapu Adembi. And Daniel Florian. And let me ask you the process. Do we announce all awards and then they'll count, or would they make pictures now? What would we like to do? Okay, just if you can come. Oh, the script is here. All right, I have a script here. Let's see. Okay, so congratulations. So next we will go with Innovation Award. Since we are College of Engineering, we would like to see that the cool stuff that we do in the labs goes and becomes, makes, impact on the on the humanity and the economics and the economy of the U.S. and broader. And so next we will acknowledge our sort of great innovators in the college. And the awards we'll start with the highest honor at the College of Engineering. It goes to Korea Innovator Award, which goes to Wei Chuan Shi. And this award is given for a career kind of long contribution to intellectual property, to startup businesses, and where you can kind of stand up so we can kind of acknowledge you. And he's in my department, so I kind of know what he is doing fairly closely, and does a lot of kind of rocket science, but also finds like a very simple ideas to be implemented and kind of bring to life. So it's very great to see. So next goes to the Rising Innovator Award, Zhang Chen. Okay. And this goes to a faculty member who kind of contributes again significantly to the entrepreneurship, to the intellectual property generation, and as well as to supervising and mentoring the graduate students to become innovators as they kind of mature. Okay, the next one goes to as a Young Innovator Award to Thomas Hannan. Okay. And okay, so the next, let's see where we're going. So the next goes to Mim Rahimi, Early Innovator Award. So it has and also to Ran An. So they're both getting the Young Innovator Awards, and these two gentlemen. Okay, let's see. Okay, now we're doing the pictures. Yeah. So if you can come down here. Yeah, let me congratulate them all again for. Okay, so the next, the research awards. That's what the university typically gets really famous for, unless you invent Gatorade and then you become University of Florida. Anyway, so the three awards go to, we'll start with Vedhus Haskier. So for his, as a junior faculty member, he has done amazing kind of contribution to in his field of research. And I've seen some examples of what he does when he presented to our visitors from the US Army. And I was at awe with the kind of technology he develops. Again, I only know a part what he does, but does little, reconstruction of imaging, just going and you can, send a little drone and see the full reconstruction, like 3D imaging of this, like downtown or like a battleship or whatnot. And this is all done in the lab. So what he does as a researcher, it also looks like to me, fully done commercial product. So at some point, we'll also recognize him for his Innovator Award in the future. You see, is here? He's not here. Okay, so next is Mia Pan, and he gets award for the Senior Faculty Research Award. And this award is given for quite significant contributions over the years at the University of Houston, in the area of research and research and development projects. Okay, and the last one, but not the least, is Yan Yao. I hope he is here. Oh, here. So he gets our Cullen College of Engineering Faculty Research Award, a Faculty Excellence Award, and this award given for the like a career-long contributions to the development. Again, he's from my department. I really happen to know what he does and kind of development advanced batteries or next generation batteries. Okay, so if you can come to the page. Oops. Let's congratulate them again. Okay, thank you. And now Dr. Rao will represent the winners of the 25-26 College Teaching Awards.
Okay. The winners of our College Teaching Awards in several categories are as follows. First, the Outstanding Teaching Assistant Awards. And, oh, wrong sequence. Omar is here? Okay. Well, for all his work, let's just recognize him again. Okay, teaching awards. So outstanding teaching assistants are Nipun Sutradhar of Mechanical Aerospace Engineering. Please stand and remain standing. Wissam Ali of Industrial and Systems Engineering. Adarsh Narayan Pujari of Information Systems Technology. Musfika Rahman of Petroleum Engineering. Venkat Madhuri of CEE. And Rahatun Akhtar of Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering. If you all could come and be recognized on the stage. Our next set of award winners are for our instructional faculty. And these winners are, in the Outstanding Adjunct Faculty Lecturer category, Quinton Stewart of HTCS. Please stand and be recognized. And in the instructional faculty category, Ajit Bopardikar of ECE. Jim D. Vega of IST. Albert Flavier of ET. Mahdi Safa of CEE. And Yaping Wong of Industrial and Systems Engineering. If you could join us on the stage, please. Our next set of award winners are in a tenure track Teaching Excellence Awards for the Cullen College of Engineering. Uh, Let me read out the names and then we will invite them on the stage. Chandra Mohan from Biomedical Engineering, Gul Zerze from Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering. Please, if you're here, please stand. Behruz Ferdowsi of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Kinam Kim of Construction Management. Jianfeng Zhang of ECE. Wajiha Shireen of ET. Yinglin of Industrial and Systems Engineering. Kyun Lee from IST, but I believe he's not here. And Ben Shu from Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. Please join us on the stage. Now I come to our final faculty awards. These are our highest honors that the college awards for excellence in teaching. Our biggest overall prize for excellence in teaching is our W.T. Kittinger Teaching Excellence Award. And the winner for this year for the W.T. Kittinger Teaching Excellence Award is Yuhua Chen of ECE. Please come to the stage. And finally, the William A. Brookshire Teaching Excellence Award. This needs a little explanation. This is a very special award, and it comes with many exacting boundary conditions that need to be satisfied. First, the winner has to be, of course, an outstanding teacher. Two, they should have taught or mentored a lot, as in 200 plus students in a year. And three, as the late Dr. Brookshire required, that this prize award has to be the biggest not only on campus, but as far as the eye can see. And I'll come to it in a minute. By the way, the Kittinger Award carries a prize of $2,000. Now, these conditions are so exacting that in some years we have had no winners, but other years one and sometimes two. But this year we have three winners. And you'll see who they are. And they're all each going to receive a prize money award of $15,000. Well, actually, that's not very accurate. It's $15,000 minus, of course, the standard 6% finder's commission by Mr. JR. So, our William Brookshire Teaching Excellence Award winners are Paul Ruhoft of ECE, Alex Landon of Engineering Undergraduate Programs, and Diana De La Rizapol of ECE. Please, Paul, you first. Paul, stay right here. Alex. And Diana? So that concludes our teaching awards. In conclusion, I just want to say this, that this year we had a large and exceptional slate of nominations. And for this, all the credit goes to the department chairs and the nominators who put together such outstanding nomination packages. So please keep this going in the years ahead to come. Congratulations again to all the winners.
So the meeting is formally adjourned now, but congratulations again to all the winners, and thank you all for coming and listening to the talk. Thank you.